which
Uh,
website
do I use? Um, the best website is probably uh, Pirate Bay. Pirate Bay is probably the best website at the moment. Pirate Bay and Extra Torrents have it, but the two best websites that existed, Kick-Ass Torrents now doesn't exist because the American government took it down, and the one before that that was really good before Kick-Ass Torrents. Can't remember what it was called. It was really good, and the government took that down. So it was a little bit difficult to find, but uh, but if you are used to using torrents, you know where to look and you know what to look for, and you know how to organize the searches. So piratebay.org, I think, is the site, and Once Upon a Time, and there's 5 series, and each series has, I think, 22 or 23 episodes. So it's season 1, and then usually there's a folder with everything in it, which is usually between 4 gigabytes and 7 gigabytes of information that needs to be downloaded. And depending upon the speed of your internet connection, it'll probably download in between about 2 hours to a day, depending upon the speed of your internet connection. Um, so I'm having started about 2 months ago. I'm now on season 5, episode 15, after watching about, I don't know, about 100 episodes so far. Um, I'm completely addicted to it, and which is crazy because it's all very stupid, but we need the little fun things in life. Um, so season 5, I watched an episode last night. They're in hell. So all the characters from the fairy tales ended up in hell. Um, and hell is an exact copy of the place where they live normally, which which is ironic, and I guess also makes filming it cheaper, so they don't have to build anything new, so they can film it in the same place. And it's the writers are obviously slightly more intelligent than the usual script writers because they've done a lot of great things. Like going to hell brought back all the characters that they'd killed in all the previous series, because they all live in hell because they were all bad. So they all ended up in hell. So they went to hell, and they're stuck in hell with all the people that they killed, who are now trying to kill them. And it's as we say, cheesy. If you understand, cheesy just it sort of means that it's it's kind of a parody of itself. Now you you can only tell a story for so long before the story becomes so tangled in itself it kind of becomes stupid, right? The more details, the more information you give, the more confusing and complicated everything becomes. And now there are so many characters in so many situations doing so many things that I have to sit and watch it and go, okay, it's from this person from there, and that's that person from there, and they can do this, and they can't do this, and why can't they use magic in this part of the thing? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then when you mix magic with reality, it's kind of crazy because then it's like, why don't the characters just use magic all the time? Right? Why do they get in their car and drive from here to here when they could just magic themselves from here to there? So, a lot of crazy stuff. I could probably spend my time much more constructively doing something else, um, but it's a it's it's a relaxing way to spend the last hour of my day, just watching a silly story about crazy fairy tale characters who do stupid things. So, um, um, there we go. And it was it was funny last night. It's funny, and it's got Robert Carlyle, who is my favorite, one of my favorite actors, and he's been in many films: Trainspotting, The Full Monty, the villain in James Bond movies, and there's a lot of other films, and he plays the main villain or the bad character, and he's just fantastic, and he's Scottish, so he's not fantastic just because he's Scottish, although that would be enough, right? He's fantastic because he's a great actor, and just a final note about it. This is kind of strange topic, I suppose, but um, because it's got magic in it, nobody really ever dies. Because when some character's killed, somebody's got some magic spell to bring them back from the dead. So it's kind of ridiculous now, because every time somebody gets killed, it's like, okay, I'll see how long they stay dead before somebody brings them back to life again. Uh, so, and I was thinking about the nature of magic, and if children should be exposed to magic. Here's the educational point. Um, should my kids be watching documentary films about dolphins or mountains or other countries or something about history? Or should we be watching this program about magic? Because we all sit down together and watch it. Um, and I was wondering if watching a program about magic is positive or negative for my kids. Because I think that we know that magic doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no super people with magic powers. So is this good or bad to introduce children to this idea? And I don't have an answer to it, except that magic makes everything possible. So if you have magic, you live in a limitless world. And I think that's a nice idea, to say to children there are no limits to
Mm-hmm.
things. The only limit is your imagination and your experiences, and maybe a bit of your skills as well. But there's no limit to what you can do with your imagination, and um, and I like that idea. And if you look at other writers like J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter, that deals with magic as well. And writers like Terry Pratchett also look at concepts of magic. Other writers like Roald Dahl also deal with fantastical things that are not possible in the real world. So it's interesting as long as, here's the caveat, as long as you don't introduce magic as the solution to all problems, because that is a bad lesson to teach
Mm-hmm.
children. To think that all problems can be solved by magic or magical characters, rather than through action or communication or conversation um, uh, or working on something
Mm-hmm.
over a period of time to solve the problem. The magic is not the answer to all problems. Anyway, I think we all need a little bit of fantasy in our lives. So, so that's my little bit of fantasy, which is probably about as useful as watching a football match. Um, so, so, so there we go. Um, but final note. I promise you, final note. But but there are only, I think, 8 or 9 more episodes left to watch, and after we've watched that, we'll have watched the entire 5 series, and then what next? What next? Because the next series only starts at the end of this month, and it's 1 episode every week. How am I going to survive? Um, who cares? Who cares? It's escapism. Um, go back to the start and watch it all again.
Mm-hmm.
And let's tie it into business concepts and ideas. The amount of work that goes into the production of the series is huge. The amount of planning, the amount of preparation, and because I watched, because I'm stupid, I watched a documentary about it. Not only did I, because I want to know everything about something when I do something. I'm not just, oh, watch a few episodes. It's like I want to watch every episode, and then I want to watch all the interviews with the people, and then I want to know about the director of it, and I want to know about uh, how everything is organized and how they set it up. So I watched a documentary about it, and usually, and there's so many people involved. You got the script writers and the costume designers and the graphics people, and usually when people start a project like that, it can take 10 years to
Mm-hmm.
finish it. 10 years to finish it, from writing your first script and putting the ideas together and getting directors and cameramen and putting the money together for the project. Somebody has to pay for it all, right? It's crazy. And then you have to find actors who sign contracts for on average 6 years for a TV series. So you sign a contract for 6 years. Who knows where they're going to be next month, what they're going to be doing next month, how they're going to feel next month.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to sign a contract for 6 years so that you know in 5 years you will be playing the same role in that series. If nothing major changes in your life. I mean, what happens if you get sick? What happens if you get fat? Right? Yeah, all these things to what happens. What happens if you die or something? That happened in one big series. What was it? Glee. Glee was the #1 American series, I think worldwide on TV, and the main character died in real life. He died of a drugs overdose, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and so they had to change the entire series because the main character died in real life, which is crazy. So, I start thinking about the business and how they put it all together and all the organization. And here's the key point: someone has to pay for it all. Somebody has to pay for all the actors and all the directors and all the script writers and all the set designers and all the production and all the editing and all the computers and all the studios. I mean, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's a massive project for 6 years. And then some dumb ass idiot like myself goes on the internet, downloads it, watches it all, and doesn't pay 1 single cent to anyone connected with it.
Uh-huh.
How does that work? How is that even possible? I mean, I just find that crazy, and I would say I'd love to give them money, but I don't have any money to give them. Suppose I could find something somewhere, but that's crazy that it's produced and people then share it with each other for free. And it costs a huge amount of money to produce, and it's all the time and effort and energy and skills of all these people working together, which is what and I just find it crazy from a business sense. And it's these people's lives. Of course, these people's lives are built around these businesses. Um, so, yeah, I guess another point is that if you're going to do something, do it 100%. So, and that's like, I just don't want to know about I don't want to know just about the series. I want to know about all the characters and all the actors and how everything comes together and how they make it, so that I can turn it into a learning process for
Mm-hmm.
myself as well. So, and kill time, which is because that's a personal conscience thing. Is I could spend that time more constructively. I could be reading a book, or I could be painting something, or I could be changing the world. But no, no. Anyway, um, there. I would um, I would share I would share all the information and all the files and folders and everything that I have with you, but I'm not quite, there's so much that I don't know where to start and how to share it really. So try the torrents and you'll find it. There we go. That was 2 questions, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's your turn.